233 of our Be a Better You annual challenge. This is just one little stack of journals that I have in my collection. I literally have, I'm going to guess hundreds of journals that I have used and filled up over the decades, since I'm many decades old now. But today our topic to enhance our emotional health and well-being is journaling. I'm going to talk about 5 or 6 different types of journals, and then I'm going to challenge you to start journaling today if you're not already. And if you already are, I'm going to encourage you to journal today, because if you're a journaler, it's probably already a daily habit. If not, I'm going to encourage you, because it's such a powerful tool in, number one, understanding ourselves better, realizing and noticing patterns, and being self-aware as to what's actually going on specifically this month with our emotions, our feelings, our moods, etc. I noticed yesterday I was moodier than usual, and I was thinking about it this morning and reflecting on it. I wasn't journaling about it, but I was thinking about it as I was getting ready to do videos today, and I realized it was because I believe I took a different supplement yesterday. I was going to try out a new supplement yesterday, and I realized today I didn't take it today because I was like, I definitely had a shorter fuse and was moodier and more easily knocked off my barrel yesterday than I normally am. And that's not like me. And so I thought, okay, maybe it's this supplement. So I'm not taking it today. We'll play it by ear and we'll see. I'll journal tonight and see if I had a different experience today. But let's talk about journaling, the power of journaling. Number one, we've talked about it probably 100 times this year alone as part of this challenge. It helps us to process complex emotions. Now, how many of us have simple emotions, but how many of us have complex emotions, right? We don't really understand. We have a bunch of different emotions and feelings flying at us, and we're not even sure what and where they're coming from. Sometimes we know the exact trigger, but other times we don't. And in order to understand that, journaling helps us to do that. It helps us to sort out the crazy millions of thoughts that we have every day. It helps to prevent patterns and triggers because we identify them. So as soon as we see a trigger, instead of reacting to it negatively, we use another strategy like calming breaths or some kind of a breathing technique or strategy, or just counting to 10. One of my favorite things, I learned it as a kid, I'm sure my parents taught it to me as part of Pop the Cork, was take a deep breath and count to 10. And then react or respond in the way that you want to. Because chances are by the time you get to 10, the original way you were going to react or respond to something has changed and altered. Usually softened. It doesn't usually get worse. It helps us offer clarity and understand our mind's crazy, tangled way of thinking about things. It serves as a roadmap for personal growth and development. And that's really what this challenge is all about, right? I mean, we can call it being a better version of ourselves or being a better human being, which is so true. I personally think that's all of our purpose on the planet. But I also believe that we all want to grow and learn and become a better version of ourselves and make the world a better place. These are, of course, my beliefs. You don't have to believe them, but they're my beliefs, and so I share them openly here. So what are different types of journals? Today, let's talk about, first and foremost, a mood journal or an emotion journal or a feelings journal, whatever you want to call it. It tracks our daily emotional states and what triggers them, right? So I've only kept a mood journal a few times, and usually it's part of one of these challenges because I know I'm a moody bugger, and I know what triggers me now because I kept journals in the past. It's used to, we often use mood scales on a scale of 1 to 10. How happy am I? On a scale of 1 to 10, how anxious am I? On a scale of 1 to 10, how fearful am I? On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited am I? On a scale of 1 to 10, how curious am I? We can use colors, emoji systems, whatever works for us to keep track of our moods. And I like to sometimes just, I should have done it yesterday, just take a little Post-it note and put little emojis on it as I'm feeling throughout the day. And if I see I've got a whole bunch more sad or scared or anxious looking emojis than happy emojis, I want to address that and journal about that. It helps us to identify patterns over time in terms of our emotions and patterns and cycles of emotions, right? Second type of journal is a gratitude journal. I've talked about this one a lot. I think anybody who's not keeping a gratitude journal and having a gratitude practice is really missing out. Number one, on creating the life that they want easily and effortlessly, enjoying their life more, etc. It focuses us us on what's going on right now. Instead of focusing on what isn't working, we focus on what is working. By focusing on what is working, we create more of that in our life. It builds resilience and trains our brain how to handle things and to notice the positive, because the more we notice the positive, the more we create of that in our life. Third type of journal is stream of consciousness, or some people call them morning pages journal, where as soon as you wake up, you just start writing whatever pops into your head. 3 pages of unfiltered writing every morning is what's recommended. That's a lot, but it depends. Sometimes I can knock that off in 2 minutes. Other times it takes me like 20. So you have to decide and figure out what kind of practice works for you. Maybe it's just 1 page of consciousness, and maybe you document in bullet points, just don't stream out every word, right? It clears our mental clutter and releases hidden stressors that we're not even aware of on a conscious level. 4th type of journal is a prompt-based journal. I have several of those sitting right here. I've got like literally hundreds of journals, not even kidding. Here's 2 that are just sitting right by me and my computer. One my daughter gave me for Mother's Day, Your Mother's Journey. She wants me to fill that out, or Your Mother's Story. And this one is the Happy Book I got from one of my sisters. And again, it's just a journal that asks a lot of questions, gives you prompts. This one is a multi-type journal. It encourages you to answer questions, draw, read, write, do some artwork and creativity. So both fun journals. Neither one I've used yet. I also always have a plethora of blank journals available to me for when I want to start a new one, which I got to do today because I filled up my Supersize Your Business journal already for this year. So I have to start another one. A lot of years it takes 2 because we got a lot going on. And there's 365 days in a year, and there aren't very many journals that you can get 365 days worth. I will also have to switch out my Be a Better You annual challenge journal because it's almost full. I'm trying to stretch it out till the end of this month, so I have a clean delineation, not the middle of the month like Supersize, but it is what it is. And when I do that, I'm going to combine them both into one. I usually don't do that. I usually have 2 different ones, but I'm going to combine them into one this year. So, prompt-based journals are ones that guide you in your discussion. And, turning my page, goals and vision journals. I like a vision board because I'm very visual, which is funny being visually impaired, but I am a visual person, so I have a vision board, but we can also have vision journals. I did create, years ago now, a ring binder, a vision board ring binder, which is about this thick. I still have it. I don't have it handy because it's heavy and takes up a lot of space. It's here around me somewhere, but I'm not sure where to grab it. But I created a vision board in a journal format and in a binder that I went and collected, like you do with a vision board, pictures and things that spoke to me. And I actually wrote on that for about a year and a half to create that. It helps us to clarify our desires and track progress toward the things that we want and create the life that we want. I think everybody should have some kind of either a vision board page on your computer, a vision board, or a vision journal. I think it's really important that we're always focusing on what it is that we really want to create in our lives and how we want to show up in the world. And then the 6th type of journal that we'll talk about is art or visual journal. It's a journal kind of like this one where it has artwork included and diagrams and pictures, or maybe you just express yourself through pictures and through drawing or through sketches. I'm not a particularly awesome drawer, so you've seen some of my artwork in previous videos. It's usually stick people or very, very basic frames, but it combines drawing, collage, words, whatever feels right for you to express yourself in what's hard to say, especially powerful in the things that are hard to say. It's easy to say the things that we love and the things that we care about and the things we're passionate about, but it's hard to say some of the things that we're afraid will hurt other people's feelings or will hurt us. By admitting that we're human and we're not perfect and we make mistakes and we say the wrong thing and we do the wrong thing sometimes. Sometimes that's hard to express. Sometimes it's hard for people to just say they're sorry because they know that they've made a mistake and sincerely say they're sorry. It's excellent for processing complex or unspoken emotions. So let me share one person's story before I go too long here. Let's look at Marcus's story. Grab a magnifying glass. Marcus went from anger to understanding using journaling. He's a retired veteran. He struggled with angry outbursts, and he wasn't really sure where they were coming from. Now, he really kind of knew they were coming from his time in the military, but he wasn't really dealing with it. So his therapist suggested doing a stream of consciousness journal. He wrote every morning without editing himself, reading back over weeks. He realized most of his anger came from feeling unheard. That awareness led him to practice better communication with his family, drastically improving his relationships and his communication skills. And so it dramatically reduced the amount of angry outbursts he had, because he knew by improving his communication skills, people were hearing him, and his relationships improved because of that. So what are some tips for starting a mood and emotion journal, since we're focusing on emotional well-being this month? Number one, pick a format that you enjoy. A notebook, a digital app, or a mix of both, whatever works for you. I am a very physical, hands-on person, so I like a physical journal. I'm trying to think. I think for different challenges and things over the decades, or coaching sessions I've been involved in, I've done digital and online journaling. I don't love it. Number one, I don't love it because once you put something out into the universe and the world on the internet, it's there forever. It never goes away. Somebody smarter than me can always find that. And I don't always want to share my deepest, darkest, most, private things that I'm learning and growing through with the world. I want to share them with my journal, which is sharing them with the universe, but it's bypassing all the humans in the universe. If that makes sense. Number two, be consistent but flexible. Write daily if possible, but if you miss a day, don't beat yourself up because of it. Don't censor yourself. Just write whatever is coming out of your mind and then look at it later. 4, review regularly. Look for patterns. Patterns that emerge when you read your past entries. It's why repetition of your school notes was so powerful, because you'd read it, and then the next time you read it, you didn't have to read every word. And then the next time you read it, you could read even less. And the next time you read it, you could just read keywords, and it would remind you of all of the information in the first place. And then 5, combine styles. Gratitude and mood journals and mood tracking works really, really well. But figure out what works for you. I have everything in one journal at this point. You can tell because I haven't filled these out that my daughter gave me yet, my sister. I like to keep everything in one journal, and then I usually date it. I fill it up. I fill a book and I pop it away. I fill a book and I put it away. I fill a book and I put it away after I've reviewed it and said, okay, well, what patterns, what did I see? What did I learn about myself from this journal before I put it away? And then every once in a blue moon, like every 5 years, I will go back. I will dig out my tub of journals, or my most recent tub of journals. I actually have some in storage, I think. My poor kids. When I pass away, they're just going to have to do a massive truckloads to Goodwill or to some other charity of their choice. Anyway, so what are we doing today? Today we are going to, if we haven't journaled, we're going to start a journal today. You pick what type journal you want to start. Since we're working on emotional well-being, I would recommend a mood journal. But if you're only going to start one type of journal, I absolutely positively, number one, recommend a gratitude journal. Focus on what's working right now. Write 3 things down every day, every single day, until it just becomes a habit and you don't have to write it down anymore. Writing down things, my dad taught me when I was a little girl, writing down things helps to create them. That's why he always encouraged us to write down our goals. All right, so do that 10 minutes a day. Be honest, be unfiltered, be curious about what will come up. And then if you feel the need to, hide your journal so nobody else finds it in your family, but just do it. And then let's help one another. If you need help or have any questions, hit me up and ask. Otherwise, just do it. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.